continue now to see some more things about the method. I remind you that you should be very careful to read all the material, to go through all the material. There are many papers. These are some basic ones. There are plenty of papers, maybe another 10 papers on the digital method and its applications. And I will include them in this course, of course, in later sections, okay? But right now, please do read these ones. They are very basic ones, okay? And I just want to give you a heads up that the material is very rich and not so easy, maybe, if you're not used to reading scientific papers. So this is about, as we have already discussed, about the methodology of the analytic method. It's an epistemological paper. Okay, so this one from the same journal, from Epistemis Methodologos, is about sports biomechanics methodology, and it's a very important paper. The reviewers, when I received the feedback, said that it provided some very important insights in the area of biomechanics and ideas that are new for people that are in this field of science. So this is a very important paper, and this is basically, it has a brief epistemological background, okay, for coaches and researchers. So this is, let's say, you could say this is a summary of the previous paper I just showed you. And this is very important for our method as well, because what I do here is I find the connection between different different concepts, and I put them in one system, and through this system we see how one is related to the other, how they connect, and this paves the path of the method, of our method, of what to do, of how to structure our practice. Okay, so I have some components that you should read about, and they are very simple components, such as sense, feeling, and emotion, and how they are connected. Biomechanics, technical form and technical style, and movement, synthesis, and structure, tactical form, and tactical style, and also planning, strategy, and life purpose. So this is a very important table. Okay. And this table says that I have 4 levels. This method of presenting information in epistemology, in classical epistemology, is called structural analysis. Of what? Of technical form. So what we should address, this says, and this is the exactly how we translate methodology to method. So this paves the way, this shows us how we should create a coach development program, how we should create athletes, how we should do, how we should develop people, okay, into experts, not only motor experts that just hit the ball well, but completed human beings that are also experts in tennis. So these 4 different levels, okay, you can say that each level has a triad. So the first level has sense, feeling, and emotion, and we start with the fundamentals. In the first level, it's sense. It's how what is sense? Information received from various receptors, such as proprioception. 2 examples of senses are pushing and pulling sensations, or hot and cold. Okay. And then we have feeling. which is the conscious experience of a sensible stimuli. We may take it for granted, but it requires some form of training to be able to interpret sensible stimuli into feelings, a tacit process mainly taking place at the earliest stages of life. And we have emotion, the psychological imprint of feelings. So we see how we progress from sense to feelings, which is the cognitive imprint of senses, sensible information, and we have emotions, which are the psychological imprints of senses. And these all have three stages. The fundamental is the sense, so we have a common language, because when we say to someone, please push, it's common to everybody. But the feeling one has and the emotion one has about pushing something is things that we cannot access. So we have to start from the sense. And in the next paper, I argue that we should start from this here if we are to uh, create a coach development program, if we have to transmit our knowledge to other people, because this is universal. Biomechanics is universal, okay, and so on and so forth. So then we have biomechanics, which is followed by technical form, which is the application of biomechanics to a human body. And when that human body, for example, us, play tennis or table tennis or swim or golf, play golf or whatever else for a very long period of time, then we have the maturity stage, which is the style. What is the style? It's the adaptation of the form to our bodies and our levers and our strengths and weaknesses and so on and so forth. So the more we go down this path, the more personal something gets. The same is here. So we have synthesis and structure. This is also from the epistemological method. And we have ways to categorize the game, and we have tactical form, which are general information about tactics, what use, general steps. It's like the technical form, and technical style is the personalized form. And then we have planning. There are rules for planning and for goal setting, as any, for example, neurolinguistic programming practitioner will tell you. And then we have strategy and life purpose. So a subset of strategy is planning, and a subset of life purpose is strategy. So please do read this again about the δομή, δομική δόμηση, and δόμημα. Okay, and I explained what I've presented earlier. Please go and read this paper. Okay. And then this is for coaches that want to do online coach development. I have written a paper published in the Central European Journal of Sport Sciences and Medicine. I always choose journals that are international and do a thorough peer review. I have retracted papers from journals that are really keen to accept my papers without any serious peer review. So this journal is a really good one, and it has a very thorough peer reviewing process. So I've published this article, Online Coach Development and Certification Programs in Sport, Are They Possible? And again, I explain how it is possible for someone to convey knowledge about sports practice, okay, through an online course. And you should also read this paper. I've been thinking, now this is generally speaking, not about tennis in specific, that many people say, oh, my method is scientific, and oh, this is science, and so on and so forth. And this is really hypocrisy. This is either lying, someone doesn't know the truth and says something else, or and this is either lying, that is, one knows the truth and says something that does not correspond to the truth, or bullshitting, when you don't know the truth and you say something saying that this is the truth. So people that haven't, I have that's a reality. Okay, I have published uh, more than a dozen papers regarding the distal method and epistemology and so on, and I keep publishing books and papers in difficult journals and so on. So, okay, this doesn't mean that distal method is perfect and everything I say is uh, excellent and perfect and so on and so forth, but at least this is the process to say that something is scientific. Okay, it's very easy for someone to pretend something, but there are criteria. I do disagree with many things that are done in science and in the scientific method. But there are some, let's say, um, there are some prerequisites, okay? There are some good things. And this system has, this is the strength of this system, because when you decide to publish a paper, it's not like you write something, you send it to a journal and they say, okay, thank you, we will publish it. Most, I mean, maybe some of these papers, it took me 1 year to publish them. I got rejected again and again and again and again. I had to change the whole paper. I got rejected again in another journal. Then I got accepted, but I had to make major corrections from peer reviewers, university professors, and so on. So, you know, it's a bit bullshitting for me when someone says, oh, this is scientific, and they haven't gone through this process. So the last paper, actually it's a pretty recent one, and this is in Sports Science Journal, International Scientific Journal of Kinesiology. And this is a general paper. It presents the distal method coach development for tennis, a new paradigm for coach education, in coach education. Okay, so I have this here. It has the distal method coach development components. This is the analytic method applied for applied to physical conditioning. Okay, and the relation among the components, the different components, and I also have these. Maybe they're helpful for you. These images that try to present the tools of the distal method. Distal method is the best method there is. Why? Because I'm so special and I have many degrees and I'm very smart? No. It's my rationale is very simple. And please, if you have a different opinion, please find a way to refute what I'm about to say. So the distal method, the tennis distal method, identifies all relevant areas of development, from motor skills to psychology, and from uh, ethics and philosophy to expertise, sociology, and stuff like that. And also, it provides tools for the development of every and each one of them, because it's a different thing to say that, okay, I want to develop my performance in my competitive performance, or I have to develop my motor skills, or I have to develop my mental skills, or I have to develop this and that. And you know, it's nice to say, to identify these areas, but it's completely different thing to actually have tools. And most of the tools are tools I have created myself. They didn't exist before, and I have published them in peer-reviewed journals. So these are some tools. And this is a very interesting table. It is a 3D, a three-dimensional model of tennis expertise. Isn't this our goal? Tennis expertise. Okay, so this is the three-dimensional. It's one, two, three dimensions. Okay, so please go and study this table as well. Okay, so and this is the journal, Sport Science, International Scientific Journal of Kinesiology, and all my papers are also open access. Okay, I'm a bit against of the business of publishing papers. Anyway, so hope this helps and see you soon.